Okay, so today we're going to be talking about handling objections, and I think that this, maybe next to inviting, is some of new people's greatest fears because they don't know what to say. But once you actually get a handle on this, man, your confidence in this business skyrockets, and you're actually like looking forward to objections because you know what's coming now and you know exactly how to handle them. Now, of course, they may not say the exact same thing, exact same wording all the time, but there really just comes down to a handful of objections. And if you just know how to get to the root of them, like to the core of the real objection, then you can just work your way through it with them and figure out if it's something that they actually want to do, if they're serious about getting started in the business, or if they're just trying not to hurt your feelings and just wasting time. So before I get started, I want to say to YouTube Matt Morris, Matt Morris, Handling Objections. Because that is a great resource. Write that down. It's also in your playbook on the closing page, on page 34. It's at the bottom, and it's actually an 8-episode closing series on YouTube, and it's free, and it's done by a millionaire in network marketing, and he's one of my favorite trainers, and I talk about him in personal development as well. He's one of the names on the list, in case you didn't notice, because he has so much substance. There's a lot of trainers out there who have a lot of resources, but he and Eric Worre have some of the most substance that I've ever seen, so please take advantage. But specifically for this topic, look him up, Matt Morris, Handling Objections, and I love it because you can see his body language, his facial expression, and the intonation in his voice. And that, a lot of it, is a huge part of handling objections. But I'm just going to talk about a few basic objections that we get and how to handle those. And this is actually, again, really fun because if you can get confident at this and you have a team of confident closers, that's when business also goes through the roof. But again, inviting is the gateway skill, so don't even worry about handling objections until you get good at inviting, okay? And so by handling objections well, or at least having a handle on them, you don't feel like you're walking in the dark with your hands in front of you. You know exactly what's coming. And so here at the top, and this is in your playbook on page 36 and 37, here's what it looks like. Print this out if you haven't already. If you're just catching this video and you haven't watched the whole series, please start at the beginning, starting with Launching Your Business Part 1. And you can access this playbook on kayanilaunch.wordpress.com. There's a hyperlink that says Diamond Dynasty Playbook. Click on that, download it, and print it off so you can follow along with this video series. So at the top of Handling Objections, it says there's no such thing as fear of rejection. There's simply a fear of lack of preparation. And so this actually came from one of the top earners. He's in the UK, and I saw him speak live, and he actually said he doesn't believe in the fear of rejection. It's just the fear of looking stupid, is what he said. And why would you feel like you look stupid? Is because you didn't prepare. This business is very predictable. And we're going to go over a few general trends in objections. So we're going to start with I don't have time. So when you share the business with somebody, sometimes, actually, if your presenter did a good job of addressing these throughout, then it should actually minimize the objections. Like, for example, when I'm talking about Emerald in the compensation plan, I talk about how my sister hit this position a month before I did, and she still did that around her 60-hour work week, so you can do that part-time. And I joke and I say, yeah, that's really embarrassing because this is all I do, and she still hit it before I did. But the point is that we're both there, and that's the best part, is that it's not a race. You go at your own rate, okay? You go at your own pace, and you control your own schedule. So even tonight I did a presentation, and that was actually one of the things that when I asked what did you like best, she said I like that it doesn't have to take over your life and that this is part-time. So you empower them throughout the presentation. That's actually a huge secret, is if you know what the core objections are, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I'm not into sales, all that stuff, you can actually address that during the presentation indirectly and say, yeah, you know, when I saw this, I definitely was not a salesperson, I didn't want to be, but here's what I found. And so if you can do that, it's going to minimize the objections tremendously. But let's say it still comes up. If someone says I don't have the time, qualify the objection to see if it's real first. Because sometimes, and by that I mean sometimes they genuinely just don't want to do it. Maybe they had psychic damage, and by that I mean they had a bad experience in a different network marketing company. And they're just doing a easy out by saying, dude, I don't have time. I'm really busy. I have all this and that. When really, I don't have time is just synonymous to this isn't important enough, this isn't a priority. And the reason why it's not a priority is because either A, you didn't build the value for it enough, because why would you not have time to build financial freedom so that you can have all the time in the world, right? What you'll find a lot is people's reasons not to do the business is exactly why they need to. But anyway, the way that you qualify to see if it's real is by saying, is it really that you don't have the time, or do you just not want to hurt my feelings? And like if you just kind of joke and smile about it, then they're like, no, 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 I'm serious. I don't have the time. And then once they're like, okay, so you qualified now that it's real. Or sometimes they may say, okay, yeah, no, the truth is it's not for me. And, like you get to the core of it, and then you can actually address that objection. So then you can say, okay, well, if you don't have time now, then is it possible that what you're doing for work right now is controlling your time rather than you controlling your own time? That's kind of a long, complicated one, but that's still good. I just like to say, well, can I ask you a question? How does that make you feel, not having time? Because then when you, again, the person who asks the questions controls the conversation. And when you get them to, like, be introspective and kind of reflect and think, you are also helping them think that it's their own idea as they self-discover their situation. If I don't have time now, what's going to change across the next 5 years and the 5 years after that? I guess I better do something different. So things like that. Oh, wow, I totally put that twice. Is it really that you don't have time, or do you not just want to hurt my feelings? Another one. Oh, and then also share a story of a leader in Kayani who overcame that objection. So I like to say, hey, my friend Lloyd Williams, he's a diamond out of El Paso, Texas, and he still works full-time because he actually loves his job. You don't have to hate your job to do Kayani. Like, that's a misconception. He loves his job, makes 6 figures, but it's not residual. And not only does he work 60 hours a week, he also goes to school at night full-time to get his PhD, and he hit Diamond in 90 days. Diamond is a 6-figure position. So he's now matched his 6-figure day job income that took him 20 years to build in 90 days. Now, I also let them know, look, you may not go that fast, you may even go faster, but the point is, it's a desire thing, it's not a circumstance thing. You can make the time. And I also kind of paint the idea saying, like, it's not about how much time you have, it's what you put into the time. Because we have a ton of part-time people who outproduce our full-time people just because they're more focused. But here's the biggest thing. You totally miss the leverage concept if you think that you don't have time. Because let's say you know someone who is open. So you say, hey, Sarah, I have a friend who's open to taking a look at the business, but I have to work like 12-hour shift tomorrow. I say, hey, don't worry. Let's exchange contact info. You just tell them, hey, I told my senior partner, Sarah, about you. She said she'd be happy to connect with you. Would it be cool if I exchanged y'all's contact info? And they say yes, if you properly edified. Then I set up an appointment with them, and I still meet with them, build your business while you're at work. Now, am I saying I'm going to do it for you? No, I'm saying that's the point of leverage and teamwork. Okay, so we're leveraging your contact list with my skill set, so it doesn't even, you don't even have to physically be present for your business to be building. Is it ideal to be present? Yes, absolutely, so you can learn how to build a business, so you could eventually become independent, but it's not supposed to hinder your business if you can't be there. So do you see how you can continue working and like doing your lifestyle and still have this work? Yeah, okay, perfect. So then you don't have to work this 8 to faint. That's what I'm here for. So I don't know if that's on here, but that's what I say. Okay, if they say, I don't have the money, what are you going to do? Qualify to see if this is a real objection. You want to say, okay, is it really that you don't have the money? Or do you don't want to hurt my feelings? You're like, no, I'm serious. I really don't have the money. Or, okay, I do have the money, but I just don't want to put it in this right now because X, Y, Z. See? So get to the core of it by asking questions. You can say that's the exact reason you need to do this. What would it be worth to you and your family if you never had to say those words again? Ooh, I like that one. Again, you're asking questions, get them to reflect. I don't use that one. I should use that one more. Actually, I use it sometimes. I use a variation of it. I say, what if you didn't have to ever say that again? I appreciate you sharing that with me. I like that. You always want to make them feel comfortable. I appreciate you sharing that with me, but let me ask you this. How long have you been working? Okay, and you are telling me you don't have a few $100s to invest in yourself and in a business that could change that forever. What you're doing then isn't working. Oh, shoot, that's a good one. Okay, and you can just say, I don't want to get too personal, but how do you feel about that? Would you like to be in a position to never have to say that? You don't have the money again? Okay, similar. Can I ask you a question? Oh my goodness, there's some repetition in here. I thought I edited it. But the key is to get familiar, role play these. The same way that we're going to role play inviting, we'll role play close. And actually, when I've done team trainings and we just do closing, people feel so much better. Even in 2 minutes, just by running this through, like getting the words integrated into their language, getting familiar with the script, it doesn't even have to sound good. Just say the words first and then role play with a partner or role play with your spouse or dad or whoever's home and just say, hey dad, can you tell me that you don't have the money real quick? Okay, how do you feel about that, right? So have fun with it, and I don't want you to memorize it so much word for word that like when it happens in real life, like you freeze, but you should know it well enough to know the general framework, okay? Next is, I don't know anyone that has succeeded with one of those, or those things don't work. Here it says, find out their occupation, then ask them, is there a right way and a wrong way to do that? Well, there's a right way and a wrong way to do network marketing. I'm here to help you show. Okay, so basically this is what this one sounds like. So if someone's like, oh, this person, and they talk about like the lack of integrity or something like that they experienced in a different company, I just say, hey, like I was going into dentistry, and what I found out, there's good and bad dentists. There's some dentists who are like legitimately trying to scam you. They tell you have all these cavities and all this, you need all this work that you actually don't, and they charge you like an arm and a leg for it. They take advantage of you. And then there's also dentists who sincerely want to help you, and they see the lowest cost that you can get the most benefit. Some of them even give away free dental work because they sincerely want to help you. Okay, so would you say it's the profession of dentistry or the people? It's the people, right? Same thing here in network marketing. This is a beautiful industry when you build it the right way. When your heart's in the right place and you have a product that's actually helping people and you're with the right support team, us, okay, then like we're never going to lead you astray. I promise you. And or you can even ask them, well, what happened? What do you know? And then like, what happened to your friend or what happened to you? Ask them questions and see what happened, and you can just say like, I'm sorry that happened, but this is nothing like that. Okay? So if they say I'm not into sales or I can't sell anything, you say, great, we're not looking for salespeople. Do you like to help people and share things with people you care about? Because that's all we do. We help people with their health and their wealth by showing them how to download an app and handing out free product. Do you think you could manage that? So that's a really good one. I also just say, that's actually an advantage. Like, because salespeople sometimes, they're so used to like hard selling and high pressure sales that it's actually a turn off. Here, we just build genuine relationships, and when people see that you sincerely have their interests at heart, they want to do business with you. So people just want authenticity. They don't want a salesperson. I let them know that. I need to talk it over with my spouse and parents. Spouse or parents. I don't know, maybe both. And then you can say, that's great. Let's all get together then. 2 sets of eyes are better than one. And, you should be in on any decision that could change your life like this, for sure. So can we get together with them now? Or when is as soon as we can get together? I just want to be with you to help answer any questions so you don't get slammed with questions that you don't know how to answer yet. So basically just set the appointment. And that's my rule, and I teach my organization, never leave an appointment without setting the next appointment. That's going to help you a lot. So take note of that. And by that I just mean, and you'll notice if I do presentations for you, then I just, before I leave anything, I just say, okay, well, I don't want to make you think that I forgot about you, and I just need to put you in my calendar so I don't forget, just because I get booked out so fast. So what's your schedule look like tomorrow? Do you like to connect for a few minutes over the phone? And then, I put it in my calendar, and I say, okay, do you prefer morning, afternoon, or evening? We set that time. Or I promote the next event. I say, what's your schedule look like Monday at 8? Okay, cool. You're free? Well, that's perfect. We actually have a team-wide conference call, and I edify that, tee it up, and that's also in the playbook. But basically, just promote the next event. Okay. So let's go back to objections. I don't have any experience. I actually don't get that one that much, but in case you do, that is the best part. You don't need any, and they have so much training available. Or you could say, hey, I didn't either. Anyone can do this business. I like that one. Sorry. Anyway, so okay, this is a big one for new people. If someone goes, well, how much are you making? And you're like, some new people are like, And so there's a couple things you can do. You can just say, I just started. How much am I supposed to be making? Like, I literally just started. I'm brand new, okay? Or some people are like, oh, I've only made $50. Only $50? That's awesome. That's $50 you would have had otherwise. And that just shows that it works and it's real, and that's only a starting point. It's only going to get bigger from there. Congratulations. And if they're asking how much are you making, that's a wrong question. They're thinking about amount. That's a 95%er. You can even ask them, well, how much are you making residually? Chances are nothing. Nothing. Okay? Because even if they're a 6-figure earner, if they don't go to work next month, what happens? Income stops. So you can already say, well, I've already made a couple $100 because I followed a simple system. Okay, let's see. I've made X amount, but Mr. Leader Story is making multiple 6 figures a month in less than 10 months. Even if you made half that, wouldn't it still be worth it? Oh, that's good. So you use a leader story. Take the spotlight off of you. And that's a huge trend in this business. If you can get good at taking the spotlight off of you, that's the one of the greatest skills that you can have here, because a lot of people, the reason why they end up in pickles is because they made themselves the issue. I've made X, but it doesn't even matter because you might outwork me and therefore out-earn me, or you might be super lazy and not even do anything at all. So what I make has nothing to do with how much you will. And that's true. Last on here is, well, I've made enough to know that I want to make even more. But if anything, you can just say, look, we're legally not allowed to like share our income because people may call it enticement, because we can't even guarantee you this paycheck because I don't know if you're gonna work. Are you gonna work? Are you serious? You know. But if anything, I just say, look, you can go to usincome.kayani.net. That's usincome.kayani.net. And you explain to them, you say, this is actually a legal document that is an income disclosure statement, and it shows you on there the average income and the average time it took to get there at every single rank. Not only that, but it shows you the lowest income and the highest income generated at each rank, and then the average. And then it shows you the fastest, slowest, and average time it took to get to that rank. And then sometimes I even show it to them. If you just go to that on your phone, you can, okay, let's look at Emerald, for example. Okay, so the highest was $37,000 in a month. Lowest was like $1,900 in a month. Average is $7,000 a month. Now let's look at the time it took to get here. Okay, longest was like 70 months or something like that. Okay, oh, fastest was 0.7 months. I know who did that. They're in Team Fusion. Less than a month to Emerald. And then let's see here. Okay, average is 6.4 months. So if it took you 6.5 months to do a consistent part-time effort to build in an income-producing asset for your family, generating you $7,000 a month on top of what you do. Would that be worth it? I hope so. If they say no, they're not the right person to prospect. But anyway, I hope that this helped. This is all in your playbook under handling objections on page 36, 37. Make sure you practice role play, because the more confident you are in handling objections, the more fun this business is. And again, remember, people follow confidence and strength, not weakness. So control your business, take responsibility for it, and become a master at closing. Hope this helped, and I'll see you in the next training.